Reporter John Palmentary is live with more on that big arrival. Hey, John.
And this tree came from quite some distance outside of Fresno County at Shaver Lake. That's just to the east of Fresno. It was on Edison property. They donated the tree, but Consumer Fire Products out of Santa Barbara and Goleta paid for it to come down here this morning. And there it is, installed this morning at 8:30. It's a 50-foot tall Douglas fir tree, and Santa Barbara City's Forestry Division and Public Works Department is now spending some time making sure it's secure here at State and Victoria Street, and using the extensions here, the cherry pickers, to put the lights up. And way up at the top there, you see the star, and it came in this morning on the back of a flatbed truck, and a special crane from Bragg Cranes came in to lift it up and put it into place there, and then they put the star up on top. And now this morning they're putting up the decorative lights, which were new last year, if you recall, on this tree from some of the lights we saw in previous years, which had basically been worn out and they were old style. These are a little more in the LED style, very colorful here. So when's it going to be lit up, you ask? On December the 2nd at 6:30 p.m. Friday night, it's going to be the Santa Barbara Downtown Holiday Parade, and there's going to be more than 90 entries in it, inflatable balloons and much, much more. But the tree will be lit up by the Prince and Princess on that night to start the parade up here at State and Sola Streets going down State Street. So the sign of the holidays is here, putting the tree in now, and of course all the holiday spirit and shopping will be taking place right after Thanksgiving. That's the very latest from State Street in downtown Santa Barbara this morning at State and Victoria, where the 50-foot Douglas fir has arrived in Santa Barbara for the holidays. I'm John Palmentary, News Channel 3.
All right, John, thanks very much. Starting to feel a little more like the holidays.
It definitely is. It was cold this morning in Meredith. What can we expect for the rest of the week?
You know, as you head out the door right now, you look at the beautiful view that we have from our studios, and you wouldn't think that it's chilly outside. Looks like the perfect beach day. However, this morning, though, temperatures sitting in the 30s and 40s in many spots. Right now, we're in the 50s and 60s, so we are starting to warm up pretty nicely right now in Goleta at 65, 67 in Oxnard and Ventura, and the Ojai Valley really recovering 20 degrees from where you were this morning. Now, we're going to see clear skies almost everywhere, still trying to get rid of some fog in northern SLO County, but there is another storm system on the way. I'm tracking it for you with details coming up in a few, plus a very special guest, guys.
Can't wait. Thanks so much, Meredith. New on midday, a man suffers minor injuries when his car falls 300 feet off the side of the road. It happened in Lompoc on the 4700 block of Harris Grade a little bit after midnight this morning. Officials say the car left the roadway on the southbound side. The driver had to be strapped into a harness and lifted up the hillside. No major injuries, though. No other cars involved. That crash under investigation today. Now to that school bus tragedy in Tennessee. A team of investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board arrived in Chattanooga today. They're trying to determine what caused a deadly crash that killed at least 5 students. ABC's Jim Ryan has more.
The bus, filled with more than 30 elementary school students, ran off the road and slammed into trees.
The bus is flipped over. It's occupied with children.
Pictures of the wreckage show the yellow bus on its side, wrapped around a tree.
We heard the crash, and we went outside to look, and we saw that the bus had turned over and apparently had hit a house across the street. They were escaping through the roof hatch.
As emergency crews struggled to free the children from the mangled bus, worried parents waited to hear what happened to their kids. Craig Harris's daughter, a stepson, and a niece were on the bus. They're okay.
I almost lost it, really, and I had to sit down and really just gain my composure. I had to calm my wife down and other family members that were also affected by this, and it's something I never want to face again.
5 children died at the scene, 1 boy and 4 girls, 3 of them 4th graders. Several children are still in the hospital, some in serious condition. Residents stood in long lines to donate blood. Chattanooga police say they're looking at the speed of the bus as a factor in the crash. They've charged the bus driver, Jonathan Walker, with vehicular homicide and reckless driving.
We've received a search warrant and executed a search warrant for his blood. The investigation as it proceeds will let us know if there was any outside influences on his ability to drive a car, to drive a vehicle. We don't know at this time.
Authorities will review black box data and video from the bus to figure out exactly what happened. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Chattanooga.
And the mother of the driver had spoken to CNN, saying that her son had called immediately after the crash and said that he had been in a quote-unquote drastic accident.
The city of Santa Barbara is updating its smoking laws. You can attend a public hearing and discussion about this today. It goes from noon until 2 o'clock. The city council is considering banning smoking in even more public places than they already do. It includes beaches, outdoor bars and restaurant patio areas, commercial sidewalks, and all public events. That ban would apply to tobacco, vaping, medical, and non-medical marijuana.
The Santa Barbara County Board of Supervisors is discussing a proposed winery ordinance today. That ordinance proposes permits for activities on winery property like tasting room occupancy, special events, as well as television and film production. Earlier this month, the board heard from dozens of people involved in the local winery and wine grape growing industry. They postponed a decision so they could get more public input. The meeting started at 8 a.m.
President-elect Donald Trump is continuing to take meetings as he looks to round out his top administration posts. But there are other meetings that Mr. Trump is having today as well. This is a live picture from the New York Times building where Trump is in a meeting right now with editors, and he's doing a on-the-record interview with them right now. And he's been firing back on Twitter this morning. Here's ABC's Lana Zach.
Next generation of production and innovation to happen right here.
President-elect Donald Trump posted a video outlining his agenda once inaugurated, tackling trade deals, restrictions on energy production, immigration, and imposing a lobbying ban for all workers in the executive branch. That lobbying ban intended to separate business interests from the public interest, an issue that with Mr. Trump's portfolio poses a challenge, says ABC News contributor and former Bush-Cheney strategist Matt Dowd.
You cannot take advantage or benefit from a foreign state or a foreign government. That's a huge problem for Donald Trump.
There have already been a few meetings that seem to blur the line between business and government, first with real estate developers in India and now a British politician who the New York Times reports may have been lobbied about the Trump golf course in Scotland. Now the first House Republican is breaking ranks to criticize Mr. Trump's many business entanglements, writing, "You rightly criticized Hillary for Clinton Foundation. If you have contracts with foreign governments, it's certainly a big deal too." Meanwhile, supporter Rudy Giuliani said he could see the president-elect dropping his pledge to call for an investigation into his former rival Hillary Clinton, but he could go either way.
There's a tradition in American politics that after you win an election, you sort of put things behind you. I'd also be supportive of continuing the investigation.
And regardless of what Mr. Trump decides, it's worth noting that in this country, the president does not decide who should or shouldn't be prosecuted. That decision is intended to be made by investigators based on evidence, independent of politics. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
Let's go back to the New York Times building right now. There you see the president-elect walking out as he's gotten out of that meeting with editors, and he's had a long feud going with the New York Times for a while now.
Well, and it was up in the air whether he was going to be there this morning, tweeting that he wasn't going to show up.
The meeting had been canceled once already.
Right, and then reversing that and showing up for the meeting. So interesting to see what comes out of that. Okay, model Gigi Hadid, she has posted a handwritten letter online apologizing to anyone who was offended by her impersonation of Melania Trump at the AMAs.
I love my husband, President Barack Obama.
Hadid and her co-host Jay Farrow started off the weekend's award show with impressions of Melania and Donald before Green Day blasted the president-elect during their performance of Bang Bang. In the letter, Hadid states, "I removed or changed anything in the script that I felt took the joke too far, and whether or not you chose to see it, what remained was done in good humor and with no bad intent." End quote.
Well, it has been a brutal election cycle, and with families gathering around the table this weekend, things could get ugly. Yeah. Next on Midday, how to keep Thanksgiving civil in this post-election world.
And which local company is donating 100% of its Black Friday sales? Done.
That's what can happen. Yeah, it's fully cooked now, though. In a dramatic presentation, the Consumer Product Safety Commission showing just how quickly a turkey fryer fire can burn out of control. They say the threat of kitchen fires triples on Thanksgiving Day. Officials are warning that frying food is the greatest risk of cooking fires, and they're advising cooks to consider the risks before using a turkey fryer.
All right, if you're heading home for Thanksgiving and are anxious about a political food fight at the dinner table, you are not alone, friends. Diane Gallagher has more on how to keep Thanksgiving civil in a post-election America.
Thanksgiving has long been the proverbial melting pot for political dialogue, and this year, while the emotionally charged election is still swirling in the minds of many,
I think there are protesters with a specific beef.
Politics will end up at many Thanksgiving dinner tables as the red-hot main course.
Do you think this year you guys will talk about the election at all?
Oh my God, yes. Some people are Trump supporters, some people are Clinton supporters.
We like to win arguments, like as probably most families do.
The 2016 election has taken an emotional toll. According to an American Psychological Association survey, more than half of all Americans say that it was a source of significant stress. For some
of my family actually supported Mr. Trump, which flabbergasted me.
The anxiety of just being with a politically divided family member will keep them from even showing up on Thanksgiving.
No, I will not be going home.
Others view politics much like football and turkey, inevitable.
It's not that we're not going to talk about it, it's like how long we're going to talk about it.
Election is going to be one of the topics.
Experts say that there are some smart ways to navigate the elephant in the room.
Lots of families are going to be getting together where they differ sharply.
Georgetown University psychology professor Fatali Mogadam suggests that the family come to the table with a predetermined strategy, whether it's avoiding the topic completely, agreeing to listen to each other without arguing, or using a trusted family member as a mediator.
Somebody who's accepted by everyone and who's more moderate and who would listen to both sides.
He says the goal should be to focus on what brings you together rather than what tears you apart.
To be able to sit down with people and laugh and enjoy their presence and say that you appreciate it, what's better than that?
In Washington, I'm Diane Gallagher.
Good luck, folks.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
No politics right here. All right, so now we are going to turn things over to Meredith Garfalo. And Meredith, you have a special guest. We've enjoyed her all week long. We're so sad that this is her last day, but now this is also one of her debuts.
Yeah, she's become a professional.
Yes, she has. Well, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody before we get started?
Okay, well, I'm McKenna Maloney from Santa Barbara Middle School, and the reason why I'm here is because I got the opportunity from Career Study Week to choose where I wanted to work, and I chose here because I want to be a weather girl.
She chose well, right,
Yeah.
guys? All right, well, everybody wants to know the holiday forecast, so we're going to start out with this beautiful view of Santa Barbara. And first off, we're going to show everybody these temperatures in their neighborhood. So this morning, was it warm? Was it cold?
Well, it was pretty cold early in the morning, but it's starting to heat up a lot more now. And so right now you'll see a lot of 60s and 50s, yep, but you're gonna see you're gonna see temperatures as low as 48 in Paso Robles.
Yes, and they have just gotten up to 53.
Oh,
so there's,
wow.
yeah, I know. In the last half hour, they've really changed. And there's not a lot of white on here. We were talking about what the white means.
So it pretty much means fog, and so that green up there, well, where it was pretty much rain. And so for San Luis Obispo, you guys are stuck with fog for a little bit, but it's over soon.
And the good news is in the last half hour, too, that fog has really cleared up. There's still some sticking around, but we've got perfect temps. Visibility is looking great out there for your Tuesday afternoon. Well, why don't we show people the wind speeds? And there's going to be some changes coming our way, right?
Yeah, so the highs right now is in San Luis Obispo, and that's 7 miles per hour winds, but tomorrow is going to be much, much, much windier, so if you're on an airplane, just expect a little bit of turbulence, but not bad.
Absolutely, and that's all because of the storm system. You can see that's in Portland, Seattle right now. We've got greens, which is rain, and even something else.
It's even thunderstorms up in Seattle and Portland, so.
Another bumpy plane ride if you're traveling up to the Pacific Northwest. So we're going to show them the futurecast today. No problems, going to be clear skies, a few clouds, but look what happens overnight. What are we looking at for overnight in San Luis Obispo County?
So we're looking at the storm system just rolling in San Luis Obispo. So for Santa Barbara, we are probably not going to get any rain but fog, but for San Luis Obispo, expect some cold, wet roads.
Light showers, nothing
just a
like
little
this
bit.
last storm system. So we're looking forward to that, but then things clear up. If you're traveling tomorrow night, no problems there. And then as we get into Thanksgiving on Turkey Day, there's no clouds, so what's the forecast?
No. So the forecast on Turkey Day, it is depending on where you are, it's going to be sunny and beautiful. Maybe a couple clouds, but it's going to be a little bit colder at night, so make sure to bring an extra jacket.
I'm going to let her take over and tell you your forecast for today. Take it away.
Okay, so for today, as you can see in Santa Barbara, the highs is going to be at 70 and the lows are going to be at 49. But up in Santa Maria, it's going to be a little bit colder with highs at 65 and lows of 44. It's going to start heating up a little bit in Paso Robles with the highs of 65 and the lows of 44. But in the Ojai Valley, you're definitely going to see a change in weather. It's going to be a little bit warmer with the highs of 71 and the lows of 49. And so for your weekly forecast on Turkey Day, also known as Thanksgiving, it's going to be pretty warm with the highs of 74. But in Santa Ynez, it's going to be a little bit colder, but not much, by 73. But in Ventura, it's going to be a little bit warmer with the highs of 77. So expect it to be a little bit warmer. And, back to you, Joey. Have a great day.
All right. Great job. She did awesome.
That was so good.
She's one of the best. All right. Thanks, McKenna. All right. Well, Ventura-based Patagonia says it's going to be donating 100% of their Black Friday sales to environmental groups. That could mean a more than $2 million donation. The company says they came up with the idea after the election. Patagonia's vice president of environmental activism said the country is divided, but the environment is something everyone can come together on. More than 800 organizations will benefit from this Black Friday event. The company already gives 1% of its sales to groups that fight to protect natural resources.
All right, still to come, despite fears to the contrary, dementia rates are actually dropping.
And eat cheese, live longer. One study says maybe that's true. Those stories and more in today's Wellness Report.
Welcome back. Time for your daily dose of health news. Jane King has today's wellness report.
Despite fears that dementia rates were going to explode as the population grew older, a large nationally representative survey has found the reverse. Dementia is actually on the decline. And when people do get dementia, they get it at older ages. Now, the study in JAMA Medicine theorizes that increased education about the disease may be one reason why. How parents relate to their children impacts both the kids' physical and mental health. In a recent study, researchers compared 5 separate parenting styles. One in particular, called poor monitoring and supervision, was associated with higher levels of inflammation and an overactive immune system response in the children. Now, the study published last year in the journal Brain, Behavior, and Immunity found that when parents exhibit higher levels of anger and coercive behavior in a parent-child interaction, the children have a weaker immune response to the meningitis vaccine. Well, a recent study published in the journal Nature Medicine reported that eating cheese, specifically the aged kind that's in blue cheese, was linked to a longer life in mammals when they tested this on mice. An Austrian university study observed 800 Italians and found that those who ate more cheese had lower blood pressure, a reduced risk of cardiovascular disease, and a 40% lower risk of heart failure. From the NASDAQ, I'm Jane King. Here's to your health.
Start your day with the #1 choice of dentists. Philips Sonicare removes significantly more plaque versus Oral B 7000. Experience this amazing feel of clean. Innovation in you. Philips Sonicare. Save now when you buy Philips Sonicare.
Hark, this onion dip looks fancy. I also had to buy this, and this.
Select sofas and love seats are only $289. The lowest prices of the year at Big Lots.
I went crazy in a good way. Ba la la less, ba la la less.
Welcome back, everybody. You did a great job on the
Yeah.
You really did.
Well done.
So this has been a full 5 days, right? How's it been? You have
Yeah,
fun?
it's been so much fun. I don't want it to end. I can't believe it's already over.
You ready to work? No more school?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm ready to sleep.
I bet. How was it getting up? Like, you got up really early.
Yeah, it took a lot to get me up. Like, my dad had to shake me, and yeah.
And
So
got
Mom
you
and Dad, thank you
Starbucks.
for your
Yeah,
help.
that's hard.
All right.
Good dad. Good
A little
dad.
coffee, start early. All right,
Yeah.
very good.
Definitely
Well, I guess,
motivation.
why don't you give us your final look at the forecast then?
Okay, so let's get a look at the forecast. And so today, the highs are going to be pretty warm and sunny. Today, for those surfers out there, it's not going to be the best day because the waves are still going to be a little bit choppy. But for the most part, today is a great day to do anything outside.
Perfect.
It's great.
I
Meredith,
couldn't have
anything
said
to
it
add?
better myself.
She even threw in a little thing for the surfers.
I know, I'm kind of sad, but you know, just watch Santa Barbara. She might be doing this in 10 years.
There you go.
At the station. Get her first start here.
You can go back to school. All your friends are just going to be so jealous.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, though, McKenna. You were such a great energy.
All right, everybody, thanks for joining us. CJ and Beth will be back here at 5 o'clock. Breaking news any time of day on our News Channel 3 mobile app and at KAYT.com. Say goodbye.
Oh, bye.